This is what the average porn session looks like. You have an individual looking at pixels on a screen. He could be watching 10, 20, 30 videos in a single session. His brain has now experienced dozens of attractive naked women in just a matter of hours. This does three things to his mind. Firstly, just seeing so many different attractive naked women with various different hair colors, body types, behaviors. This novelty and unnatural abundance is going to desensitize him to beauty. His wife, who in his eyes used to be a stunning 10 out of 10 looking woman, now appears to be more like a 5 out of 10. That's because porn has given him an unnatural amount of stimulation that cannot be replicated by a single person in real life. The second thing that happens is that his perception of intimacy changes. Think about this for a second. Years of watching porn has taught your brain that sexual pleasure involves you looking at other people having sex. However, when it comes to real life, you are actually going to experience intimacy in first-person view, and this might no longer be registered as sexual pleasure by your brain. Additionally, you're just so used to jerking yourself off with a firm grip for years and years, you might have actually desensitized your penis, such that now you can't even maintain an erection by being intimate with a person anymore. Lastly, if you have been consuming porn for a long time, you have certainly acquired fetishes. These are strange, unnatural, and even destructive behaviors that your mind has now been rewired into finding sexually attractive. And all of this is thanks to porn. It is very likely that the vanilla intimacy with your partner is no longer going to be registered as pleasurable because your mind is just so accustomed to the strange and novel. The consequences of these three things is that you are not going to be sexually aroused by your wife anymore. This means that you are no longer going to initiate intimacy the way you used to. And trust me, she is going to realize this. And the very first thought that is going to enter her mind, no matter how attractive she might actually be, she is going to think that she is unattractive because her husband is not aroused by her anymore. And this is just so damaging for a person's self-image, and this would deeply fracture a marriage. Once your marriage hits this stage where your wife feels that you are no longer attracted to her, or she isn't sexually satisfied with your bedroom life, probably because you have induced erectile dysfunction, then the clock is ticking. If these issues are not addressed immediately, you are heading for a divorce. The good news is that every single problem that comes with porn, from being desensitized to beauty, having erectile dysfunction, and even having unnatural destructive fetishes, all of these can be fixed. Your brain has this beautiful ability to rewire itself. This is called neuroplasticity. It is thanks to this ability you're able to learn new skills, you're able to learn new languages, and get efficient at things. Even the reason why you have addictions and fetishes is due to the fact that porn has rewired your brain. So just the way your brain has been rewired negatively due to exposure from porn, you can also rewire your brain back to its factory settings and completely overcome all your problems, provided you eliminate porn exposure. Now, people on the internet and the nofap community will come up with all sorts of numbers, the most common being that it takes 90 days to rewire your brain from porn. But in my opinion, there is no such fixed number. The time it takes to completely heal your brain from porn depends upon multiple factors. Firstly, how long have you been consuming porn and in what quantity? A person who has been watching porn once a week is going to recover sooner than a person who's watching porn 3-4 times a day. The second factor is going to be the foundational principles of health. How good is your sleep? Are you eating whole, natural, healthy food? Are you working out at least 3 to 5 times a week? The third factor is fasting or maintaining a ketogenic diet. I'm a strong believer in the healing properties of fasting. Research has shown time and time again how fasting or something like a ketogenic diet improves neuroplasticity. Also, in my own experience of having worked with dozens of people who are overcoming porn addiction, those who fast recover much sooner and they're less likely to relapse while they're recovering. If you would like to work with me in helping you permanently overcome porn addiction by building and implementing systems in your life that do not only help you resist porn, but also optimize your health, get you disciplined, productive, and focused, then make sure that you click on the link in the description and book a call with me. Most people are trying to quit porn the wrong way. The primary goal shouldn't be just to quit porn. The primary goal is to become such a man that does not need porn in his life. It's as though quitting porn should happen by default when you build yourself up into the best version of yourself. So let me now specify how to become such a man. Now, just to give you an analogy that will help you understand this principle better. Imagine there are two people. One of them is starving, hasn't eaten in 3 days. He reaches a McDonald's and orders a lot of food. He knows McDonald's is bad for his health, but he just does not care anymore because the hunger urges are killing him. On the other hand, there is the second person. He instead had a large healthy meal right before he entered McDonald's. Now this person isn't really tempted by the burgers and fries. In fact, it's quite the opposite. He almost feels repulsed by them because he just feels so full and he would probably throw up if you put any more food in his mouth. Just like that, if your life is filled with other sources of healthy dopamine, things like working out, reading books, a strong spiritual connection with God, a loving interactive family, a career that you're actively working and leveling up in, uplifting friends, a good sleep routine. If you have all these channels to feed you with healthy positive dopamine, then you are going to be far less tempted to go back to porn. But on the other hand, if your life is completely broken, your diet is trash, you don't have a sleep schedule, you're just going to bed at random times each day, you have no meaningful connections in your life, you have distanced yourself from God, you have no productive habits, no ambitious goals, you don't have a community of people who find your contributions valuable, you have unaddressed trauma, then guess what? All of these things are going to put you in a starving for dopamine state. And this is a very vulnerable state that leads to people relapsing. I want you to do this. I want you to sit down, take a page, and ask yourself, what are the things that I need to work on or fix about myself? Now start writing them down, really think about them, and have an honest discussion with yourself. You might be forced to write things that kind of scare you, but unless you identify the broken areas of your life, you are going to keep relapsing. And I'm going to say something that is going to sound absurd or even trigger some of you, but your porn addiction in some ways is an unforgiving vehicle for self-improvement. It is ruthlessly going to attack you until you fix what is broken in your life. Oh, you have a shitty diet? Here's a relapse. Oh, you have a poor sleep schedule? Here's a relapse. Oh, you have no self-control and you stare at girls who are provocatively dressed? Here's a relapse. So once again, just to remind you, the mission isn't to quit porn. The mission is to become the man that you're capable of becoming, the man that you have the potential to be. Because once you become such a man, your addiction will no longer have that pull over you. I know this particular video was heavily focused on mindset changes and becoming the man and not worrying too much on quitting porn. However, sometimes you could be doing everything right. Your diet could be on point, your sleep could be on point, your routine could be on point. Yet you could still end up relapsing because of cravings. If that is happening to you, it's probably because porn has literally changed your brain, and that is why it generates these urges even though you're doing everything right. So make sure that you watch this video to learn how to eliminate these urges.